Welcome to Rockingham Community College. Today we are going to learn the basics of financial aid and explore how to finance your college education. Don't let the burden of college expenses weigh you down. Unfortunately, the financial aid process can be confusing and also intimidating. I don't expect that you will be a financial aid guru by the time we are complete. My goal is that you will have a better understanding of the process of what you need to do to apply. However, today I won't be able to answer the most popular question, how much money will I get? We will cover and provide answers to what is financial aid, who can apply, how to apply, how eligibility is determined, types of aid, and the now what. So let's get started by providing a definition of financial aid. Financial aid is defined as funds provided to students to assist in paying the cost of attending college. Who is eligible to apply? Those who have met the requirements to complete high school graduates with a high school diploma, a GED, or who have completed homeschool setting under the state law. Criteria to apply: males must be registered with Selective Service, have a valid Social Security number, be a U.S. citizen, permanent resident with a green card, or an I-94 card. Important dates to remember. January 1st is the earliest date to file a FAFSA application. March 15th is RCC's FAFSA priority filing deadline. April 1st is RCC's scholarship application deadline. June 15th is a soft deadline to have your FAFSA file completed here with the school. How to apply. You want to apply online at www.fasa.gov. Make sure you're using .gov and not .com. .com will charge you, and you want to make sure that whatever application you're submitting is free of charge. Remember, FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Before starting the FAFSA application, make sure to gather as much information as possible to reduce the frustration of completing the FAFSA application. I encourage you to have all this information readily available: your W-2s, your 1099 forms, income tax information, same information for parents if the student is considered dependent, Social Security number and or alien registration number for both student and parent if student is dependent, know your parent's legal name and date of birth. Also, the federal school code for RCC is 002958. The word dependent is used when a student is required to include parental information on the FAFSA. There potentially could be special circumstances, but as defined by U.S. Department of Education, a dependent student is a student who cannot answer yes to at least one of these questions. Were you born before January 1st, 1992? Are you married? At the beginning of the 15-16 school year, will you be working on a master's or doctorate degree program? Are you currently serving active duty? Are you a veteran in the U.S. Armed Forces? Do you now or will you have children who will receive more than half of your support? This brings us to who is defined as a parent for financial aid purposes. Parents living and married to each other, parents living together and not married, parent widow or single, parent divorced or separated. If parent remarried, answer about the parent and the person whom parent remarried, the step-parent. Students' biological or adoptive parents, or person that the state has determined to be the parent. For example, a person listed on the birth certificate. The philosophy as to why you have to include parental information: the family should help pay for the educational expenses of their student and help to ensure limited taxpayer resources are directed to students with the most need, regardless of the parent's marital status when those parents are living together. Even if the student has lived or is living in a non-traditional setting, these persons are not considered parents and therefore should not be used. Foster parents, legal guardians who have not adopted the student, relatives such as grandparents who have not adopted the student, step-parents who have not adopted the student, and the natural parent in the household is deceased, must use remaining biological or adoptive parent, if any. Students are typically dependent on parents for the FAFSA process until age 24. However, exceptions do occur. We have defined financial aid, discussed who is eligible, criteria and information needed, and definition of dependent student and parents for financial aid purposes. It is now time to start completing the FAFSA. Worksheet is available but not required. The worksheet that you see here can be printed from the U.S. Department of Education's website if you prefer to jot your answers down before transferring them online. This document should not be mailed in. This is just a document for your records. This may be your first experience with the FAFSA application, but you may have heard reference to the PIN number. Sadly, the PIN number has passed away, but it is replaced with an FSA ID or Federal Student Aid ID. You will need an FSA ID number to log into your FAFSA account. The FSA ID allows students and parents to identify themselves electronically to access FSA websites. An FSA ID is made up of a username and password and can be used to log into FAFSA on the web. You can create an FSA ID number on the FAFSA website, fafsa.ed.gov. When you log into the FAFSA.gov website, this is the first page that you will see. You want to make sure that you click on Start a New FAFSA. And again, if you have not already completed the steps to obtain an FSA ID, that information is located right at the top of the screen. The next page you will see is the progression page that shows you how far you are to completing the actual application. You want to make sure that you go through all of those areas that you see up top. You are not complete until you actually get a confirmation page. If for whatever reason you need to stop, you can simply save the application, log back into it, and pick up where you left off. The IRS data retrieval tool. As you are aware, completing the FAFSA, one of the major components is previous year income. Although it is not required, it is highly recommended to use the IRS data retrieval tool. This allows the IRS to populate the information onto your FAFSA for you. Those that choose not to use the data retrieval tool or are ineligible to use the data retrieval tool will more than likely be selected for verification. To use the tool, you must have a valid Social Security number, filed a 2014 federal tax return, and have the same marital status as you did for the last date of the year 12/31/2014. There will be filtering questions to help applicants know whether to use the tool. It meets verification requirements, is secure and fast. In most cases, must submit an IRS tax return transcript rather than an actual tax return if you are selected for verification due to you not using the IRS data retrieval tool. This is the screen that gives you the filtering questions. Once you answer those questions, it will lead you to the link below that says link to the IRS. Simply click on that link. Your FAFSA is not submitted until you see this confirmation page. This gives important information such as an EFC and aid estimates. Department of Ed will send an email notification to you upon receipt and processing of your financial aid application. Remember, this is not an award letter, it is a confirmation page. Information will be sent to RCC within 1 to 2 weeks. The EFC number that was referenced on the confirmation page is used in the formula for determining financial aid eligibility. The formula is cost of attendance minus expected family contribution equals financial need. Cost of attendance. How much will it cost to attend college? Every college must estimate the educational expenses a student will incur during an academic year. These expenses include direct costs, tuition and fees, and indirect costs, related educational expenses for living, transportation, allowances for books, and other miscellaneous expenses. EFC, amount of money a student and family may reasonably be expected to contribute towards the cost of the student's education for an academic year. EFC is derived from the information submitted on the FAFSA application. It measures your family's financial strength to determine your eligibility for student aid. Financial need. This is the difference between the institution's cost of attendance and your EFC. If there is a remaining figure, you are considered to have demonstrated financial need and thus will be considered financial aid eligible. After the FAFSA is received, you may be selected for verification, especially if you didn't use the reference data retrieval tool. The RCC Financial Aid Office will mail and email notification of any required additional documentation. Be prepared to submit a variety of documents. Generally, the items to be verified include, but are not limited to, adjusted gross income, income tax paid, untaxed income, food stamps, child support paid, citizenship documentation, proof of Social Security income, and proof of disability. Special circumstances. If you have a special circumstance or significant change, such as unemployment of a parent and or student, death in the family, change in parents' marital status, medical expenses not covered by insurance, or students simply cannot obtain parent information, please see the RCC Financial Aid Office to discuss this further with a financial aid advisor. Be prepared to provide documentation of any changes, including the financial impact of the change. Sources of aid. Where does the money come from? Federal government, state programs, institutional funds, and outside agencies. Types of financial aid offered here at RCC: Federal Pell Grant, North Carolina Education Lottery Scholarship Grant, North Carolina Community College Grant, Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunities Grant, scholarships, Federal Work Study, and RCC Child Care Grant. Now what? In addition to going to class, you must be successful in your classes to ensure you are not at risk of losing future financial aid eligibility and owing money back. Need help completing your financial aid application for the upcoming 16-17 academic year? RCC will be hosting a FAFSA Day on February 20th, 2016 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Get free help completing your FAFSA application from college financial aid officers. Offers of help that should be avoided. Anyone who charges you a fee, such as FAFSA.com, for information about financial aid to complete the FAFSA or to apply and or receive a scholarship is a scam. Please avoid those. Organizations that guarantee you will get a scholarship or aid is a scam. Avoid that as well. Additional information or additional resources on how to obtain additional financial aid can be located at these links. These links are useful tools to do research on any additional aid that may be available. In conclusion, apply early, complete all questions accurately, get taxes done before March if possible, use FAFSA.gov, not .com, to complete, sign, and submit your application, keep a photocopy of all documents for your records, respond promptly to RCC Financial Aid Office if additional information is requested. College will notify via mail of aid eligibility, and students should always follow RCC award letter instructions.